Alright, today we're going to change the serpentine belt on this 2000 Blazer. It's one of those maintenance tests that a lot of people do put off until it's too late, but it's relatively easy to do and it's inexpensive. Alright, so I'm just going to start by removing the negative battery terminal, and this is more of a safety precaution than anything. Anytime you're working under the hood with tools, you run the risk of arcing off the positive terminal or possibly a frayed wire. And of course there is that possibility that somebody could hop in the vehicle while you've got your hands on the belt and bumping the ignition. So just a matter of good practice, I'm going to remove this terminal, and I would recommend that you do, although it's not necessary for the job. Okay, just pull it away from the battery. Okay, so let's take a look. Mine has AC. Yours may look a little bit different if you don't have AC, but pretty much all these 4.3 Vortec engines, you know, the S10s, the Blazers, Trailblazers, all those things are probably going to look very similar. If you wanted to actually inspect your belt, you take a look here on the water pump, and this is the underside of the belt here with these ridges showing. And if you see cracks across these ridges, it's probably a good chance you ought to be replacing your belt. I've got the belt diagram here, but I know on a lot of older vehicles, sometimes this is missing. So take a look for that, and this will kind of give you an idea. This little arrow here means that this is the tensioner. So this is what we're going to be looking at in terms of releasing the belt as well as installing it. And on this particular vehicle, let's see if I can get my hand down here. It takes basically a 3/8 inch ratchet, or you could use a breaker bar, and we're basically going to wind this spring-loaded mechanism in, and then we're going to release the belt. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, because we're going counterclockwise with it, you're going to want to set your ratchet so that it's as though you're loosening a bolt. And you notice we don't have a socket on here because we're not actually removing this bolt down here. We're going a little bit further down, and there's actually a square, which is the same size as this 3/8 inch ratchet. Okay, so let's see if we can do this here. You can use a breaker bar. The additional length is nice, but the ratchet is nice because once you get it on there, you can release the ratcheting mechanism and then position the ratchet so you can push down on it, which is always nice. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can release this, and what I'm going to do is grab the belt right here on the idler pulley and see if I can just pull it off. Okay, I'm trying to do this without blocking the camera too much, so that's it. That's all there is to releasing and removing the belt. Now I just need to get it off from all of the pulleys. Here goes my ratchet. If you do drop a ratchet, you can just open up the oil filter cover and obtain that. And down on the crank pulley here. And there it is. So let's take a quick look. It's actually not too bad, really. It's probably been replaced. This vehicle has 130,000 miles on it, and I can't imagine it would look this nice. But again, this is one of those situations where I'd rather be safe than sorry. If you do happen to break your belt, you know, your alternator is not going to function, so you'll be running off your battery. Your water pump is not going to be cooling your engine, so you're going to run into problems. So I'd rather change it out now. Okay, let's take a quick look at the belt routing diagram here. You can see that the serpentine belt comes down around the bottom of this crank pulley, and it comes back around the water pump. And for that reason, we're actually going to start by inserting the serpentine belt on the left-hand side of the fan. So hopefully that makes sense. So incidentally, I got this belt at autopartswarehouse.com. If you haven't checked them out yet, go ahead and check them out. They have great prices, as well as a large selection of things that maybe you wouldn't expect to find aside from at the dealer. So check out autopartswarehouse.com, and I think you'll find everything you need there. So let's get started on getting this thing installed. Alright, so it's going to be kind of difficult for you to see the entire installation, but what I'm going to do is start by trying to get the belt down around the bottom crank pulley. And once I get it around that bottom pulley, I'm going to put a little bit of tension on it just to pull up and make sure that I have it completely on, and it looks like I don't. Okay, right there I do. Okay, so this comes around the water pump like this. The pulley on the back side of the fan is the water pump. Comes down around the power steering. Move my light. Okay, next we're going to come back up around the air conditioner. And all the while I'm trying to make sure that it's not coming off any of the pulleys down below. Okay. And it comes over here to the tensioner pulley and the alternator. Okay. So this, again, remember, sits down like so. Once we loosen the tension, I'll be able to slip that on. So, okay, again, we're using the 3/8 inch ratchet. Set it as though you're loosening. So we're going counterclockwise. Position it in the tensioner. Push down. And while you're doing this, just try to make sure that you're not, your belt's not off one of the pulleys or off sideways on the water pump. I'm just going to take a quick look here. Make sure we're on all the way around. And it looks like we are. Okay, so that's pretty much it. One of the last things we've got to do here is just hook up the negative battery terminal. And I don't know if I mentioned it the first part, but I'm using an 8mm socket for that. And let's go ahead and tighten that down. And then what I usually like to do is bump the engine over a few times and check the belt position on each of the pulleys, as well as the idler wheel and the water pump. So hopefully this video has been helpful. And again, if you haven't checked out autopartswarehouse.com, I would suggest you do that. They have great prices and a wide selection of parts, and many of which I thought maybe dealer-only items, but they're right there at autopartswarehouse.com. I hope this video has been helpful. Please leave questions and comments below. Thanks for watching.